Welcome to the Apprentice Q&A. Welcome to the Apprentice Q&A. Welcome to the Apprentice Q&A.
Yeah, hi, I'm Megan and I'm doing the Level 4 Sports Coach qualification with Educationwise and I work for Premier.
For Sports Coaching course and I work for Premier as well.
Yeah, I'm Jack. I work for Premier Education.
Cool. And what are you studying, Jack?
Level 4 Sports Coach.
Hi, I also work for Premier Education and I am working towards my Level 4 Sports Coach as well.
Hello, I'm Adam. I work for Premier Education as well and I'm learning my Level 4 coach.
Hi, my name's Isaac. I work for Superstar Sport and I am doing my Level 4 Sports Coach.
My name is Sam. I'm a Level 4 School Sports Coach Apprentice and I work with JC Multisports.
I'm Lewis and I do Level 4 Sport Coach for Premier Education.
My name's Aidan. I'm doing the Level 4 Sports Coach Apprenticeship and I work for Premier Education.
My name is I do a Level 4 School Sports Coach Apprentice and I work for a company called TechFit.
I became an apprentice because I wanted to work and still get a qualification from it.
It was a good opportunity to get a degree out of it and I felt it worked well with my lifestyle.
I wanted to learn how to coach at the same time of practically coaching as well.
To get qualified and get experience at the same time.
Oh well, I became an apprentice because I wanted to start working straight away, start earning money and start taking the right career path.
I went to university, dropped out and changed the route I was going to go down for work, and this was the right way to go. Get an apprenticeship, get qualifications and get experience.
I wanted to get a job where I could gain skills and this way I can get a qualification whilst getting paid.
I wanted to be able to learn some new skills through coaching.
I think because I wanted the qualification to be a PE teacher, but I also didn't want to go to university. So I like the fact that this was like practical and learning at the same time.
I wanted to go back doing sports again from my last job, so I thought let's start with apprenticeship and then work my way up.
You get time to, it's sort of flexible, so I get to work and then I also have time to sort of do my own educational things on the side as well.
I would say being able to gain the experience whilst learning, where you don't get that with university. So yeah, gaining experience while learning.
Like gaining skills whilst actually getting stuck in and working as well.
Get to learn skills like doing on the job, but also it's backed up by the work that you're doing within the weeks and you get time dedicated to do the work within the working week as such.
I think if we were to get the sort of roles we have now without having that introduction and that route to get to it, it'd be a bit stressful. But the first few months you've obviously shadowing, so you learn how to do the role before you actually have all those responsibilities.
I think similar to before, it's the fact that you're not just sitting in a classroom learning. You actually get out and get to learn whilst you're doing the job.
I think it's the thing about not being just thrown into the deep end. You get all support around it, especially when you're doing stuff that you don't know.
I think just coaching every day and using your apprenticeship work in your line of work?
I think being responsible for your own learning and doing it in the time that you have spare and being responsible for how much you get done.
Being able to being able to learn for actually like doing the job and then through doing written work as well, so you get to kind of get the best of both worlds.
So my day sort of looks like I do my apprenticeship work in the morning, and then I'd plan a lesson, and then I would go and teach my after school club afterwards.
My day looks like doing some apprenticeship in the morning, then planning out a lunch club and an after school club as well.
Mine would be start in the morning with a couple of hours of apprenticeship work, online work, and then moving on to the afternoon where it's a lunch club, some PE lessons, and then after school club.
It depends. So it would vary between all days teaching in school or teaching and then apprentice work, or vice versa.
So yeah, for me it starts off with having a bit of time in the morning to do apprenticeship work, and then afternoon straight into the coaching, straight into the apprenticeship work, or on the job work rather.
Within the day, we could be up to 2 or 3 different schools, and then we also have time dedicated to do our apprentice work each day.
In the mornings, have time to do like admin work, do your apprenticeship stuff, and then from sort of lunchtime onwards, go in, shadow, and then go off to an after school club and try and lead that on your own.
Usually start off the morning with a nursery session, maybe 2, and I'd come home for lunch, do some apprenticeship work, and then plan my lesson for the after school club.
So I'll go out and do like a breakfast club shift, and then I'd come home, have 2 or 3 designated hours to get all my coursework done, and then I'll go back out and I'll teach or I'll coach in the afternoon, and it kind of just works like that. Whenever I have a break, it's in my planner to have some coursework time.
Well, mine changes day to day, but so for example, a Tuesday would be get up, we get dressed and all that stuff, come into the office, spend 2 hours talking to you, learning new stuff regarding apprenticeship, do something else for like an hour, then go back to doing a bit of apprenticeship before I go off to teach in the afternoon.
I sort of just try and do as many as I can, so about 10 I would say.
I'm dedicated 6 hours a week, but I like to use more hours so I can stay on top of work more.
I think I'm quite lucky in the case of my week's the same every week, so I get 2 hours every day to do my work. Normally in the morning, but it can vary to the afternoon.
We are given a minimum of 6 hours per week to do our apprentice work, but any time that I have spare, I try and get some done.
So yeah, I get dedicated time on my schedule to fit in the apprenticeship work.
At least an hour each day. Sometimes it can be more depending on what distance you have to travel to different schools.
Yeah, I roughly have, the only day I'm in person is Wednesday, so I've got 4 days, 4 mornings to do work and arrange stuff and things like that.
I get 6 hours during the week. So 2 today, 3.5 today, and the other 3. Yeah, so we get given 6 hours a week, but anything over that is bonus.
So I try and sort of like manage out my week and have like set days for stuff that I need to get done. So I try and make sure I stick to that.
Much the same. I like to break my week out and see time slots in my schedule where I can do work.
The way I stay on top of work is keeping count of the tasks I have done and their due date, and making sure everything is done prior to, so not letting not letting myself reach any deadlines.
Just by like dedicating certain time or certain days to do your apprenticeship work, so then you don't do it all last minute.
Setting yourself like a timetable from week to week, whether it differs, to dedicate time to do the work. And I also have like to-do lists that I tick off to make sure everything's done for that week.
I'm on my computer quite often, so I sort of just leave the one file tab open, and then whenever I'm on it and do work, just keep an eye what I've got left to do. If I've got time, just do a couple of tasks or something like that, do a journal entry, and then if I've got to go into school, I've got to go into school.
I like to set weekly targets for how much work I get done, but just being honest with yourself really at the end of the week, how much have you actually got done.
It's all about just time management, because if you're stuck on something, you can just email and then ask. The worst thing to do is just to put it off, because then stuff can get on top of you. So just look at the task you have to do. You go, alright, I'll do this week, this next week, and then you can just keep on top of everything.
Well, always give it a go, and if I struggle with anything, I go email yourself as soon as possible to get help to progress further.
Brilliant.
I like to have 1 or 2 bits of work at the start of the week, which I try to complete by the end of the week.
My apprenticeship links to my work because it sort of the stuff relates over, so I can use skills that I learn on my apprenticeship to my everyday working week.
Just learning like the ins and outs of schools, so like learning about stuff like GDPR and implementing that into the and how important it can be.
So we have something called off the job hours, so anything work related that we do, we can claim as hours, and they go towards our apprenticeship.
So a lot of the tasks that we'll do in the apprenticeship obviously link to how we can improve as coaches and improve our skills that we can then use in real life situations.
Yeah, similar to what we said, like the things we do and tasks we complete, they help us essentially think about how our attitudes towards it, how we behave towards children relationships, and also to do with lesson planning, making sure it progresses enough for the children.
I feel like when you do the job, you'll be doing coaching behaviours and influencing in a certain way, but you learn the theory side of what you are actually doing, and then you can understand what you're doing and how it can affect children.
So like learning the behind the scenes of what goes into like a lesson or something like that will help you bring it actually into your lesson.
It links because not only do you learn how to make lesson plans and what they need to include, I think it helps the most because you learn about how children behave and why they behave in certain ways. So then that can help you with not just your teaching, but if you've got a difficult child, you kind of learn why they might be difficult and ways of handling them.
It gives you a practical aspect of it, so like you can learn something from just like from our lessons, try it in your lesson yourself. If it doesn't work, you can then look at another way that you've learnt.
Yeah.
Yeah, just all stuff that I'm learning week by week, just like slowly trying to implement that into my working week and what I do.
For me, we get one-to-one calls, so it helps me with my work. So if I feel like I can't complete something, I need a bit of extra help, I can always come to you and then get that bit of extra help.
It's always constant communication, so if I ever needed help, all I need to do is send an email and I've got someone to help me if I'm stuck.
We have weekly calls when we all come together each Friday morning. That helps out, see where we all are as a group, see where we are individually, and then if we ever need any extra support, there's one-to-one meetings that can be had.
Education-wise, so the whole induction unit was basically on Educationwise Blossom, where we're doing our online courses. They also work closely with our mentors, making sure we have enough time to do our apprentice work and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like lots of courses that you can do like along the way that are then going to help support you in your coaching jobs.
Yeah, coaching courses, which and courses that aren't like to do with our courses, but it's to do with like well-being and stuff like that. Progress meetings to help make sure we're on track, and then also, how do you pronounce candidly? Like if you're falling behind, you can book meetings with your mentor to make sure you can ask questions if you're not sure.
The mentoring and tutoring has been really good, supportive, and then initially like on the onboarding side of it, all of the like CPD courses that we did to like prepare us for the role was really useful.
Yeah, well, we have this 2-hour session on a Friday to help with any work, and then if obviously you need extra help, then we can just book in a one-to-one with you at any point during the week, if some of us individually need extra help.
Well, we've got access to you pretty much all the time. We can just email you if we're stuck, and you'll normally get back to us within the hour. But then they'll also give you mini courses that can help, like they'll tell you to go onto Blossom, which gives you mini like 5-minute courses on loads of different topics. So there's a time management one on there, and then there's some about like ways to handle stress. So if you've got like a really stressful class, you can just go on the course, and it's ways of like managing it, like how can you de-stress yourself, what's making it stressed or making it stressful.
It also they give you feedback as well, so that seems not correct or they think you can do better, they give you feedback on your work so you can progress to a high level.
It's quite positive and inclusive, so everyone has like an equal chance to like say their opinions and what they want to say.
Yeah, it's obviously a really good atmosphere because we're all on the same like course, so if it's a good atmosphere, then we can all learn.
I'm going to say a very positive one. No matter what sort of level of like knowledge you know, there's always like welcoming, and always like from my perspective of yourself, you've always listened, and if you then thought maybe you're not quite right, knowing what you're talking about, you correct us and say maybe this might be the better thing to say, sort of thing.
A really positive environment. I know I'm not worried or scared to make any comments about anything because I know I'm not going to get dug out if I'm wrong.
Yeah, really good like supporting environment. So like there's always stuff that if you need help you can go and access it, and there's always people you can like, contact for help if you're stuck with any of the tasks or anything like that.
Yeah, positive and comfortable environment, like you're never scared to ask questions. There's always emails, booking meetings if you're ever not sure, like you always know where to go for help.
Similar to what most people have said, and the weekly calls are good. I sort of look forward to them. I don't dread them. It's not a dry 2 hours of the week. It's a good environment to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very like inclusive. So like when we're on a call, it doesn't matter if everyone's like really ahead and one person's behind. It's not a case of you leave them behind. It's very much how can everybody who is ahead help that one person get to the same stage that everybody else is at.
Quite a relaxed environment. It's sort of how much you want to get out of it as well as being supported as you go along.
Yeah, usually everyone's in the same boat. Obviously we're all trying to do the same course, and then obviously we get a lot of help. So yeah, it's a very almost like helpful environment, as any questions that we ask can get answered. We do get a lot of support, which is good.
You have scorecards after each topic, but you have your tasks, and then you have your scorecards as well. And then if you do them each month, then you can see how much you improve.
Well, after each bit of work you do, obviously there's doing a learning journal at the end to sort of summarise what you learned in that bit of work that you did, and obviously you can assess us through that.
Well, when we submit work, we get feedback on it, whether or not we passed it, we need to make further improvements and things like that. And also in the PES side of it, we're also going to be getting assessed on an actual delivery side of it.
We do an ETA, so at the end, the endpoint assessment, they assess whether we are capable coaches, and then that's how we get our final grade.
So each task you do is building up towards the end point, so it's important that you do all your other tasks as well, because then they all quite a big part towards it as well.
So we do a presentation as such to mentors to make sure we've understood the task.
So throughout it's normally written tasks, but there's also video calls where you answer questions and see if you get it correct, and obviously if you don't, you get feedback on why. And then in the endpoint assessment, someone will come out and watch you practically do your lesson. So it's a bit of everything.
Communication skills, I would say. So, not just your vocal skills, but also your communication skills over the internet and online. So with emails and stuff.
Just learning so much and just implementing it into everything you do. So everything you learn, you can always use.
Individual learning skills. So how much can you work by yourself when there's not a teacher or someone else looking over your shoulder at all times?
Life skills, not directly though, so time management, dedication, things like that.
Yeah, just a lot more independence as well. Obviously you've got to keep track of your day-to-day work and then your apprenticeship work as well. So a lot of helpful stuff you can take into the future with you as well.
Yeah, so a lot of organisational skills, obviously time management, knowing when to dedicate your time to do work and when you're going to be in schools and being on time for everything.
Being accountable. It's not an in-person sort of college thing, so you're not seeing a teacher every week that's going to be badgering you. It's more you're left to your own devices, but the support is there. But yeah, just sort of organising what you're doing, making sure that you're doing things to the level you should be doing them, and handing things in on time.
You just gain every single skill you can get. You get time management, you get social interactions. Sometimes computer skills, the basic stuff you learn, not just you're going out to teach. You also doing apprenticeship, you also learn about how to use Teams, how to do journals, things like that.
Yeah, personally, I think you earn skills such as confidence as well, because not only are you doing things practically with the children, it's a case of when you come on phone calls like this, you get to meet and speak to loads of different people. Nathan's the other side of the country, but I can talk to him easily over the phone because we're on here every week.
Day-to-day skills, when you're working obviously in the real world, you're learning different skills by doing that, and then obviously when we're on here doing our calls each week, then we're learning different things when doing this course online.
My end goal is to carry on coaching and helping and progressing other children.
Carry on what I'm doing. We still do the job that I enjoy, if not progress higher up in the ladder.
So the end goal, I think personally I'm going to take a little bit of a step back from mainstream schooling, but I can still do holiday camp work, and then I'm planning to come back into it in a few years' time, but at a full-time school and be like their PE coordinator.
To work my way up potentially in Premier, or find a school who wants a dedicated PE lead, and move onwards.
To also get the qualification to be a fully qualified sports coach, and then progress from there, whether that be with Premier or different opportunities.
Yeah, to progress within the same role career, build my way up within the company that I work with.
I want to coach at an elite level and hopefully coach a professional football team.